Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming to this live lunch and learn. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been trying to figure out what the best way to do it is. So today's lunch and learn, we're going to be covering the three reasons you're not getting customers or clients in your business. Now, I know a lot of people talk about this subject a lot, and these are the three common things that we've seen with a lot of our clients time and time again. And once they've been able to tweak these three things, they've really been able to see a big difference in their in getting more customers in their business, that kind of stuff. So I just really want to break those things down, but I'm going to wait a few minutes just to let people kind of get on because it's not quite 12 o'clock yet. So if you are tuning in or if you're watching the replay of this, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day because, I know it is lunchtime. Food is always really good. I actually love food. I actually used to be a competitive eater. So like I said, I totally understand it, but I'm just glad that you were able to take at least some time out of your day to, like I said, just jump on and really learn what these three things are. Because the thing is there's just so many things you can be doing in your business, and sometimes it's hard to really know what you should be focusing on, what you should be doing. And like I said, I just really want to share with you those three common things. Now, before I really dive into everything, I just want you to really be attentive for this live lunch and learn, and make sure you take some notes because it's always important to take some notes, write some stuff down. That way you retain things a lot better. I know I do. So like I said, kind of, I know that we are on some social platforms right now. So just try not to get distracted. Like I said, if you're in your office, close your door, lock your door, do whatever you have to so that you're not disturbed now during lunch. And you can really take in the information that I'm going to share with you. And then at the end and really during as well, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and put those in the comment section. I'll see them. So if you see me looking down, it's because my computer's right here just off a frame. So I'll be looking down occasionally to kind of see who's on and really be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So don't worry. Like I said, I'll have to remember not to just stare at my computer the entire time, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and get started, right? Because I'm one of those people that I'm like, I want to know the things right away, and I don't like to just, dilly-dally around and wait. So the first thing, and I know that a lot of you may hear this a lot, and it's one of the hardest things to get right, and that's really your mindset. Now, I know a lot of people talk about mindset. I know that you probably hear it all the time, like, oh, you gotta have good mindset, you gotta have good mindset, but it's really, really important to have a good mindset and really be able to reset your mindset and put yourself in, a winning mindset every single day. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, there are some days when I get up in the morning and I just don't feel like running the business. I don't feel like doing the things that I need to get done in the business. And that's okay. Like, I don't think that, every day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, yes, like, let's get stuff done. Let's do all this stuff. Like, some days, don't get me wrong, you have those days, but some days you're kind of just like, I just want today to be over. I don't want to have to deal with customers or clients or whatever, right? I totally get that, right? I think that sometimes people just think that business is going to be easy, and some people talk about how, easy businesses and how all this stuff. And I'm like, sometimes that's just not the case, right? The thing that I have to remind myself, and what me and my wife talk about a lot, because she is the other partner in the business, is that, anything worth something is hard work. It's not easy, right? Because if it was, then everybody would have it, right? Everybody would have a successful business. Everybody would have, the life of their dreams if it was easy. And it's just not. So, like I said, I just want to share with you that mindset's really, really important. And I think that one of the things that has really helped me and continue doing the things that we do in our business is really coming up with what I like to call your creed, right? Like the thing that you tell yourself every single day to really motivate you and help you realign why you do what you do and why you decided to start your business and why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of people say your why. I like to think of it as, my creed that I tell myself every day. So I actually want to read you the creed that we came up for our business. The thing that I read, like I said, I try to read it every day, and especially on days that I don't really feel like working on our business. I don't really feel like that kind of stuff. So I just want to share it with you so that you can kind of start thinking about, why you're doing what you're doing in your business. So the creed that we came up with is, no matter what pain, uncertainty, doubt, judgment, failures, and challenges this crazy world throws at me, challenges this crazy world throws at me, I will always rise to the challenge and give it everything I have to the very end, because I know I'm worth it. I know my family is worth it. And I know that my legacy is worth it. I will not fear the unknown, but embrace it. I will strive to be the best version of myself today and every day I wake in this crazy world. Yes, it may take hard work, long hours, sleepless nights. I may fail, but I will never question why. It will be my guiding light, even in the darkest hours, because anything that is worth it will not be easy, but I will achieve it because I am scary good. So you can see that we tied in the scary good there, because, like I said, that's one of the things with our company is we want to strive to be scary good. Now, excuse the garbage truck coming by and collecting all of the trash. They're always making noise all the time. So, like I said, that's really what our creed is. That's the thing that I use to realign myself and my business and really make sure that I'm in the right mindset in everything that we do, right? So, like I said, that's what I want you guys, one of the things I want you to focus on is your mindset, because it is huge, right? Even moving forward, getting on this live lunch and learn, I know that you are in the mind that you want to change, you want to do better, you want to do those things, but you need to have basically a foundation, something that you can tell yourself every day to help realign you, put you into a state of success. Now, like I said, it's just super important, and it's something that takes time. Now, we've been in business for a little over 3 years, and we didn't come up with that creed until, just a few months ago. It's something that takes time. It's something that takes refining, but think about it every day. Think about things. And certain stuff in your creed may change. Certain values that you have may change, and that's okay. But have something, solidify it, write it down, and like I said, tell yourself that every single day. So now let's get more into some of the tactical things, because like I said, mindset's one of those that can be really hard, and it's not something I can just tell you, like, here's the exact mindset that you have to have, right? Like, it's always a little different for everyone. So let's move on to number two, the second most common thing that we've seen with some of the clients that we've worked with that we've changed, and it has really been able to help them a lot. And that is your value and your pricing. Now, I know that everybody struggles with pricing all the time. I mean, like I said, it's something that a lot of people are not sure about, right? You never know, like, well, am I charging too much for this? That's usually what it is. You don't think that whatever your product or service is worth as much as it should be, right? Let's just be honest. Like, a lot of times what we find is businesses are drastically underpriced. Like your products, your services, your any of that is really, really underpriced. And it's something that I want you to realize is that you probably need to be charging more. Now, I know that that's pretty easy to say and hard to do, but I want to give you some examples of this, right? Because it just is one of those things that I want you to see that you can charge more and it's okay. Right now, of course, if you charge more, not every single person is going to buy, not every single person is going to do whatever. So let's start with a big example. So Netflix, right? Netflix is one of the top streaming services, right? And one of the things is that they have grown such a big following, a big user base, right? And it was interesting because it was a few years ago, and I know that they're getting ready to do it again. If they haven't already, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to what the bill is for Netflix. It just, gets paid and it's good to go. But what they decided to do was raise the price of their monthly service. And when they did this, they raised it by $1. Now, they decided to do this because, like I said, they could make more money. They knew that the service that they had was valuable, right? And yeah, there's a lot of people that complained about it. A lot of people that were talking about, oh, well, I'm just going to not use Netflix anymore. I'm not going to do any of that. But they did it in such a strategic way that I kind of want to share with you. So when they originally increased the price by $1, what they did is 2 months before they made the announcement that they were going to increase their pricing by $1, their monthly subscription was going to go up by $1, they heavily promoted the second season of Stranger Things 2. Right? They promoted it, they got everybody excited about it, they really got everybody pumped up about it, and then they announced that, hey, we're going to increase the price by an extra $1. And of course, everybody, like I said, was up in arms talking about, oh, I'm going to cancel all this stuff. But what they did is they really pushed the value of Stranger Things 2, right? Like, that's what everybody was talking about. And since Netflix is the one that produced it, it's only coming out on Netflix, they kind of didn't force people to keep their Netflix subscription. They were pretty much, if you cancel, it's whatever. But what it did was they created this huge value and this sense of FOMO, basically, which is, people were fearing missing out on the second season and having to rely on somebody else to tell them all about the show. So it really was a good transition for them to increase the price, because whenever they increased the price, they actually didn't really have, I think it was like less than 1% of people that actually canceled the subscription, even though there were so many people talking about doing it. They just never did because the fear of missing the second season of Stranger Things. So, like I said, that's one strategic way that you can increase your pricing. But let me give you a more realistic one that we just did with a past client that we had. So we were working on an advertisement for them and with them and trying to get people into their salon. So they're a salon. So what we were looking at is they had a package deal, right? It was a bunch of services packaged together that if they bought it, they were getting a discount. So originally, the original pricing it was like a little over $300 worth of services that somebody could get for, was it like $75? I want to say was what the price was. So, right, that's a really, really good deal. So, wait for this trash truck here. But anyway, there's huge value in that, right? You're literally getting I think it was like $340 worth of, we'll wait for sometimes it's a little crazy here in the studio. And like I said, you never know what's going on outside, right? That's just how it is. Construction, planes, trash trucks. But I really want you guys to hear this because I think it's powerful. Now, right, so $340 in services that somebody could get for $75. Amazing deal. It's like, why wouldn't people take that offer, right? So we're like, this is great. Let's run this campaign. It's going to do fantastic. Well, we ran the campaign and we ended up showing the ad and the offer to, I think it was like a little over 1,000 people. And we had, one person that took the offer out of 1,000. Now, it's not great. So we were sitting there scratching our heads of like, why aren't people taking this offer? It's really good. Like they're saving a lot of money. They're getting a lot of value. They're doing all this stuff. And, we ended up looking at it. And I was talking with my wife about it because obviously she's in the demographic of people that would go to the salon and do that kind of stuff. So I was asking her, I was like, okay, so why aren't people taking this offer? And what she told us and what we came to the conclusion of is it was too cheap, right? It seemed too good to be true. It didn't seem like that good of a deal because it's like, okay, well, if it's $75 from $340-ish, maybe the service isn't that good. Maybe it's not that great. So that's whenever I said, then great, like let's increase the pricing of it. So we bumped it up to $127. Literally, that was the only thing that we changed. We increased it from $75 to $127, ran the ad, and we ended up having 75 people within, I think it was like a 2-week period, claim that offer. And it's just one of those things that kind of makes me laugh sometimes where it's like, maybe the reason your product or your service isn't selling is it's too cheap. People may not think that it's worth it because it's too cheap. And like I said, it just made me laugh because I'm like, now one of the benefits is you can now sell that exact same thing for more money and you make more money, right? Like increasing your profit margins from $75 to $127 is pretty dang good. And like I said, in 2 weeks to have, I think it was like 75 people claim that offer. That's pretty dang good, right? So it's just one of those things that kind of makes me laugh. And I know in my the one of the first businesses that I started was a production company, a video production company, and that was kind of the big thing too. Is I was always undercutting. I was always like, well, I'm not that good, or I'm not that whatever. And I found that the higher price tag that I had, I would get better quality clients. I'd get better quality customers. And it's just one of those things that, if you're always going to be the low price, whatever, you're going to attract low quality customers. Like that's just what it is. So one of the things that I would really, really encourage you guys to do is look at your pricing and really take a look at it. Because honestly, pricing is one of those things that I think changes all the time. Like, just look at candy bars, right? Go back 10, 20 years, candy bars were not priced the same as they are today. Like inflation, all these things change, right? So realistically, I'm like, yeah, add an extra dollar, add, $10, add $100, $1,000. I don't know, like just try it out. and see if you get more customers. I mean, the worst that can happen is that you have the exact same amount of customers you have now, and that's okay. Like, tweak it, play with it, see if you can increase it. I mean, yeah, even if you add $10 and you already have a customer base and they're willing to pay $10 more, I mean, if you have whatever 100 customers, there's a good chunk of change right there, right? Like, it's one of those things that just play with it, just tweak it, and you don't really have a whole lot to lose. So that's really number two is pricing. Like I said, just try increasing your price, see what happens. And I know that it is easier said than done, but like I said, sometimes in business, the things that you're afraid to do are usually the things that are really going to make a big impact in your business and really getting you to the goals that you want to get to. Like I said, I mean, even with one of our other clients, she is a service provider. We packed, she had a bunch of, I think she had like 5-6 packages, something like that. We consolidated them down to 3 packages. And, the same thing. Her cheapest package when we first started or before we changed everything was like $60. And I told her, I was like, you're charging way too little. Like, you need to increase the price. So, now her cheapest is I think it's like 130 or maybe $136. And she still has the same amount of customers. So you could see that there's a big difference there. And like, because originally her goal was she wanted to try and do like 3,000 to 5,000 a month. And I was like, the easiest way to hit that goal is increase your price. Because I'm like, even if you have, less people that take those offers, you're making more money. And it's a lot easier to hit those goals. And yeah, and I want to say her most expensive package now is like $195, $196. And before it was like $150. So, I mean, even just adding, an extra $40 on top of every order, that's a pretty big thing. So, like I said, just try it. Like I said, just break past that fear of increasing your price, try it, see what happens. Like, sometimes you'll surprise yourself. So, and now the one of the last things that I want to talk about and spend quite a bit of time on is awareness. Now, what do I mean by awareness? Well, one of the big things with a lot of clients and really just a lot of businesses is you're not working on enough awareness for your products, services, and I really, really see this a lot with brick and mortar stores. So if you have a business that's brick and mortar, this you really, really need to pay attention to. Now, what do I mean by awareness? Well, really what I mean is advertising, right? Now, I know advertising, like spending money, getting all that stuff, I know so many businesses have a hard time with this because a lot of times you don't really see the ROI. You want to put out one ad and make all kinds of money and do all this kind of stuff. And realistically, advertising doesn't work that way. Now, I wish that it did. I wish that you could every ad that you put out could yield a return. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way, right? Advertising is something that takes time. It takes refining. It takes learning, and it takes running ads that don't do that well, right? Like, it just happens. So one of the big things is your awareness. And going back to brick and mortar, so one of the big misconceptions that a lot of brick and mortar stores and owners and people have, and maybe you have this misconception as well, and it's okay. But one of the things is you feel like you have a established customer base. And now I want to share with you why this is not true and why you consistently need to be going out, getting more customers, attracting new customers, because anytime that I hear a business say, "Oh, well, we have a customer base," especially in brick and mortar stores, I always want to challenge that, because if you did not realize this, in the U.S., the average American moves every 6 years. So if that's the case, if you have a physical location and your customers are moving every 6 years, it becomes really difficult to say that you have a customer base. Yes, you may have some customers that have been shopping with you or buying your products or services for the past 20 something years, and maybe they've never moved. That's fine, but you can't assume that every single customer is just like them, right? A perfect example of this is, think of how many people live in their hometown, go to college in a completely different state, and they live there for 4 years, and then they move somewhere else when they get a job, right? This is pretty common, right? So even whenever I was in college, right, I grew up in a super tiny town. There's like nothing there. There's still nothing there. I mean, there's, 2 gas stations across the street from each other, 1 school, and I think like the biggest thing that's there now is a Family Dollar. Like there's nothing there, right? So yeah, okay, all the little restaurants there, whatever, right? Like I grew up there 18 years. I was there 18 years, but then I moved to go to college. And whenever I moved, new city, don't know anything, don't know, where anything is, don't know the best place to eat. I don't know any of that. And if you're not trying to attract me, you're leaving it to chance that I'm going to find your restaurant or your store or your whatever it is that you do. You're leaving that to chance, and that's not the best way to do it, because, in any city, do you know every single brick and mortar store there? No. Right? And the same thing is, so I was there for 4 years, and then I moved to a completely different city, right? So all the restaurants and shops and stores that I would go to, they only had me as a customer for 4 years, and now I'm gone, right? Now I'm in a new city, new stuff. And it's funny because, there's places that I don't even know were around and existed just right here in my neighborhood, because there's one street that I don't drive down. And just like, I could drive down it once one day and be like, oh, dang, I didn't even know that was there. And I live 2 blocks away, right? And that's one of the crazy things with like brick and mortar and even online, right? Like online, it's a little different, because once a customer knows who you are and they buy from you, you still have to make sure that you have good retention with them. But it's the same thing. Like, how do I know that your store exists if I've never heard of it, right? And that's kind of the big thing, because it's like, yeah, you can have the greatest, you could have the greatest restaurant with let's just take a burger, because like I said, I love food. So you could have the best burger known to man, but if nobody knows that your business exists, how can they buy that, right? And it's just one of those things that's so interesting to me. So, of course, it's like, okay, well, we need more awareness. So what are the best things to do? Well, honestly, out of all the varying types of advertising that's out there, social media and online advertising is I would say right now it's the best, the quickest, the fastest, and the cheapest way to start attracting new customers for your business. Like, hands down, everything that we've seen. So just to kind of give you an idea, I wish that I could like share my screen with you guys, but unfortunately, like we just don't have it set up yet to do that. So I'm hoping that we can get that done, because what I would ultimately like to do is be able to draw some stuff out for you, do that. I'm hoping that as we continue to do these lunch and learns, which is something that we're completely, I know, something that we are hoping to do Right now we're going to try and do them every Friday. So next week we'll be doing another Lunch and Learn. Not 100% sure what we're going to be talking about yet. But if you leave us a comment, let us know, like, what are some of the things that you're struggling with, or what are some of the things that you'd like to learn in these Lunch and Learns? Because like I said, I really think that there's a lot of things as a business owner that you can learn. And there's a lot of things and a lot of experiences that we've had just working with businesses, owning my own businesses, doing those things that we can really share with you to help you grow, and that kind of stuff. So, like I said, if you would like to continue to do that, make sure that you get into our Facebook group. That's where we're primarily having all these Lunch and Learns. So make sure to do that. Once the live is over, I'll make sure to update the descriptions and stuff with a link to where to go to get in. Anyway, back to awareness and advertising and social media. Like I said, sorry, I got sidetracked there. But the big thing is with social media advertising, like I said, it's amazing the tools that are out there today, right? Like you can advertise to people within a mile radius of your restaurant. Right? And I know that I keep saying restaurant, but this can literally work for any business, brick and mortar, even like our business. Let me give you an example. So geofencing is one of the big things that I think is very underutilized at times. So just to give you an example, let's say that in your city, your town, there's a big event going on. Let's say it's right, like here, one of the big things that a lot of people have been talking about is soccer, right? So with a soccer game going on, what you could do, you could go to the stadium, buy a banner and have them hang it up and pay all kinds of money, and maybe have a video play at halftime, have all that kind of stuff, and spend who knows how much money, right? Or what you can do is you can actually geofence the entire area. So let's say it's the stadium. You can slap a geofence on there. Basically what that means is you can target people based on their location in a certain radius. So I know that we've done this where, let's say we go to a business networking event. So let's do a little bit at B&B, right? We go to a business networking event, the hotel, wherever it's being held, we can literally put a 1 mile radius around it and say, I want to show this ad to anybody that is in this location, this advertisement. Now, I hope that you can see how powerful that is. So, like I said, even going back to the stadium, let's say that you're a restaurant. Now, imagine like I said, the soccer game that's going on. You geofence the entire stadium, and all you do is you keep showing people your advertisement for maybe a free appetizer when they bring in their ticket stub. Do you think that people are going to do that? Yes, because even if people are at a soccer game, I guarantee you they are on their phone taking selfies, uploading stuff to Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all those places. And there's probably a good chance that they're going to see your advertisement, right? And the thing is most of these ads cost pennies on the dollar, maybe 50 cents, 60 cents, whatever. And it's just so powerful that you're able to do that, right? Because now you're able to put a good message in front of people and not just have a banner that has your company's logo on it at the stadium that's like way far in the back that nobody can see anyway. You're actually able to show them something that's relevant, that they want, all that kind of stuff. And the thing is you're not locked into just one advertisement. You can show 2, 3, 4, 10, 100,000 advertisements if you want, and you can spend as much money as you want as well. But the other thing is you're not locked into just one thing, right? Maybe the game that they have this week, you show one ad. The game that they have next week, you can show something completely different, right? And you're not locked in, you're not, any of that stuff. And like if you're doing it on Facebook, like what we do with a lot of our clients, you know, the turnaround time is maybe about 24 hours max, right? We've done ads, and once you start doing a lot more ads, Facebook gets really good at approving ads a lot sooner. So, you know, we've had ads that are ready to go within, you know, a couple of hours. Now, I always suggest, you know, try to get it set up 24 hours at least in advance so that, you know, if it does take 24 hours, you're ready to go. But yeah, so geofencing is a big thing. I definitely think it's one of the ones that's underutilized because, like I said, I mean, if you know that there's going to be a big group of people around that are basically your audience or your customers, why not be able to show an ad in front of them? And the great thing is too is like you can do this with anything, right? It's just so powerful, right? That's just one of the many ways that you can target people with Facebook. The other thing that Facebook has, which I feel like is another one that a lot of businesses don't realize and is kind of underutilized, is if you have a physical location, so it's still brick and mortar, you can actually show an advertisement to people in a mile radius from your location. And anytime that somebody sees the ad, if they actually go into your location, Facebook can track that. They can actually show you your conversions, right? So if I have my phone and I'm looking at it and I see your ad, and then however long, if maybe it's a day later, I decide to go into your store and show you that offer, even if there isn't an offer, right? Even if it's just pure brand awareness and I go to your location, it will show you how much money it costs to actually get me to go in and what the average time is, right? So if it took me 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, 10 minutes after seeing the ad, it will give you that data. And it's so crazy because I don't know any other kinds of advertising platforms that can really do that, right? Like you send a mailer out, you can tell how many people you sent it to and how many people brought in the little thing, but you can't track as good as you want, like you can with social media. Like I said, the other thing that you can do in social media, and like I said, some of you may know this, some of you may not, but you can track so many things. Like, for instance, like if I decided to run this video, which we highly recommend running video ads because there's so many things that you can do as far as advertising. But let's say you only watch 25% of this video. I can show you an ad for watching 25% of this video. And then let's say somebody else watches 90% or 95% of this video. I can show them a completely different ad, right? Because the thing is, if somebody's watching 95% of this video in an advertisement, I know that they are probably somebody that is really looking for a solution that we may have, right? So I can show them an ad of, hey, here's the services that we have. If you would like to set up a strategy call with us and see if we would be able to help your business, here's where to go, right? Versus somebody that maybe only saw 25%, where maybe I show them some other content, show them some other stuff that we've done to build more trust, right? And it's almost mind-blowing to me to think that you as a business have the ability to do that, right? And like I said, now, yes, there is a lot of stuff. There is a lot of technical stuff. There is a lot of things to learn. And I get that, right? Because as a business owner, you didn't really start your business to be the best at advertising, right? You didn't start like that. That's not why you do it. And I understand that it is hard. It is difficult. And it's like what I tell our clients. I'm like, that's the reason we're in advertising, because we love it. We love looking at all the analytical stuff. We love, geeking out over all the technical stuff, but you don't have to, right? That's why we have a business, right? Because it's our responsibility to know all of those things, to understand how they work, to be able to see and analyze and dissect things and figure out why they're not working for you, so you don't have to do those things, right? Now, I do think it is good to have some knowledge in those things and not just be completely oblivious or blind to anything. But you don't have to know all the things, right? And that's why businesses hire us. That's why we have clients, is because they trust us, they trust our processes, and like I said, we've just built a relationship with them. And that's one of the things that I would like to do with you is build that relationship. And because realistically, our goal is to help businesses just grow and sustain and really last longer than 5 years, because it's crazy to me to think that so many businesses, like more than half of the businesses started, end up going out of business in 5 years. Because the thing is starting a business is a huge sacrifice, right? Like when we decided to start our business, I worked for a retail company. I'm not going to say who, but I worked for a retail company. I had, it was a good job. I didn't like it that much. It was a good job though. Like, it paid well. I had vacation time. It was really good, right? But the thing is I didn't feel that that's where my skills, my time, my energy, and my purpose was. So, starting our business was scary, because literally I was walking away from something that was, right, it was guaranteed paycheck. I had vacation time. I knew that because it was a corporate job, right? So they had money, they had all this stuff, benefits, health insurance, all that kind of stuff. I pretty much walked away from all of that to basically making no money, right? Like nothing, and having to build a business from the ground up. Now, obviously, this was not the first business that I had started, but it's just like anything. There's always risk involved when starting a business. You never know if it's going to work. You never know, like, if you're going to be able to get clients. You never know. You don't know any of those things. And like I said, I always feel bad that people sacrifice so much to try to create this business and have, and follow something that they truly believe in, just for it to fail within 5 years. Like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to be you. And that's why I really think that we went into marketing and advertising. One is, obviously, we do love it. It's so fascinating and so interesting, but I just really love working with businesses and people just like you to really figure out how we can come up with good solutions to help you get to the goals that you want to get to. And, it's just something that I know that I have to do. I just really want to make a difference in people's lives, because, not everybody gets the opportunities that they deserve. Not everybody gets the things that they want. And really what it is it's not a lack of you trying. Sometimes it's a lack of knowledge. Sometimes it's, you don't have anybody to turn to talk to, or maybe you do, but they're not always honest, right? They kind of tell you what you want to hear, and they're not like, they kind of sugarcoat things, and that's not always good too, right? So, and that's really the thing, is I just want to be able to build a good relationship and an honest relationship. And I feel like that's one of the big things that separates us from some of the other agencies and stuff is, if I don't think that we can help you, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, like, hey, I don't think that we can work together. I don't think that what you're trying to achieve is achievable yet, right? Maybe there's a few steps that you need to have in place before that, or whatever it is. And I think that that's a big thing. And you know, there's plenty of clients and businesses that we've turned away because we don't think that we can help you or help those businesses or whatever. And like I said, honesty is always the best policy because, you know, I just don't want to just take your money like most places and whatever. And, you know, just, I don't know, do whatever. Like there's a bunch of crazy stuff out there. But like I said, I know that kind of going on a little bit of a rant here or whatnot, but let me refocus here. Yeah, so, you know, awareness, right? That's originally what we're talking about is awareness. So, you know, really start considering a lot of social stuff, advertising, that kind of whatnot, because it just is so powerful, and really dedicate some time to it, right? You know, whether you want to try and do it on your own, whatever, and trust me, it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to not go as planned, but that really in the game of advertising, that's what it is. It's go through and fail and fail and fail and have terrible ads that don't convert, that don't do this, that don't do whatever. And then you'll finally find something that works, and it's going to just change your business. I mean, it just is. I've seen it time and time again. And yes, it is hard. It is hard to, you know, have failed ad after this and that, and, you know, people not liking you or not liking this or that or whatever. And yeah, like I said, it is hard. And it does, you can get discouraged. You can, you know, do those things, but, you know, just stick with it, right? Like, I know that it's always just the thing that everybody says, but I promise you, stay consistent with it. You will find something. Now, like I said, whether you decide to work with a company like ours, you decide to do it on your own, you decide to do it with a different company, it's one of the things that will change your business. It's just you have to stay consistent. And like I said, it may take a year, 2 years to find those winning ads, those winning offers, those winning whatever. But, you know, what's a year, right? If it takes you a year to figure out exactly what it is, but you're making 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times more money than you're making now, was it worth it to spend that time and that energy? I think so, because like I said, that's really what it is most businesses give up before they really ever start. So what I would like to do is I would like to invite you to just a free talk, just free strategy session of, you know, a few social media advertising outlets, the things that I believe would tremendously benefit your business, because not all social platforms are for all businesses. Like, you know, like we're not on Snapchat, we're not on Twitter, we're not even on Instagram yet, you know, and that's one of the big things is you don't have to have every single social platform. I don't think that you need every single platform. I don't honestly think that you need every single online marketing, online whatever thing that people tell you, right? The big thing is, I'm like, if you focus on the ones that are going to make you the most money, then why do all the other ones matter? They don't. They really don't. So if you would like to schedule a free strategy session with us, like I said, there's no commitment, no nothing. We'll talk a little bit about some of the things that I truly believe will help your business, and talk to you about how, you know, we could implement those things for you, and, you know, just kind of talk about a little bit about that if that's something you're interested in. If not, that's totally fine too, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's your business. Everything that you do, the amount of money you make, the amount of money you don't make is 100% up to you. It's your responsibility. I can't, you know, I mean, I guess I could force you to do something you don't want to do, but I'm not going to, right? Like, if you don't think we're a good fit, then we're not a good fit. Like, that's okay with me. So, thank you so much for jumping on this live Lunch and Learn. Like I said, I want to try and do these every Friday around noontime. So, like I said, if you want to continue jumping on these live and learns, I'll put the link to our private Facebook group where we'll be having them. And I will also add the link to schedule a free strategy call with us, see if there's anything that we can help you with, if you'd like to do that. If not, I look forward to seeing you in the next Lunch and Learn. And if you want to jump on a strategy call, I look forward to taking a look at your business and really help you figure out what the best social platforms will be for your business to really grow and scale your business and hit the goals that you want to do. So thanks again for taking the time to watch this Lunch and Learn, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.